I'm telling you right now, the main predator group into the future is the Communist Chinese, ladies and gentlemen. Even though their economy is on the verge of collapse, that's another reason they're even more dangerous. And our economy's on the verge, and the Russian economy's on the verge. What happens historically when empires get on the verge of collapse? They have wars so they can then have austerity and domestically cement their takeover. In fact, I think now is the time this week to get World Affairs Brief expert Joel Skousen on. I really agree with his overall analysis, but I think things may be moving quicker than he thinks. He thinks 2000, 2005's when they've got the big war with China and Russia lined up. But, man, folks, they're building bunkers. They're getting ready. The elite is moving out of the United States and Russia. All of the Jewish billionaires have left Israel. That's been in the Jewish press. What's going to happen to Israel? You can go, good, I hope Israel gets blown up. Oh, really? You hope Israel gets blown up? This is mental illness. Even if you hate Israel, they got 800 nukes, they're going to blow you up, you idiot. Nobody wins World War III. The only way to win is not to play. Your calls are straight ahead. I'll give you details of these articles.
We're on the
The only way to win is not to play. And I've got to just tell it like I see it. You have the globalists that are above the three major power groups, but their main power came from the United States and England. The vestiges, the remnants of the old British Empire combined with the new burgeoning American empire, all under red, white, and blue. And we have the soft power that we were more moral, more free market, more freedom than all the other nations and systems. So you combine the physical power with the intellectual, cultural superiority, and undoubtedly the West in those respects was very superior. That's why the whole planet adopted it, not even through conquest, but through imitation. Now we are just basically satanic slobs, totally decadent, sitting on our thumbs, on average, not all of us. I'm not on some high horse. I'm decadent too. So when I say that, I'm speaking for myself. But compared to some people, I mean, it's night and day. The fact that Americans don't even care or know how out of control stuff is. Anthony Gucciardi went out to the Monsanto rally, one of hundreds around the country, and was a speaker there. And he talked to something like 50 people. And only a couple of Americans of the 50 he talked to knew even what Monsanto was. Every foreigner he talked to, he told me, and we've seen the report, but every foreigner he talked to, from Mexico or from Russia, you name it, knew exactly all about GMO, all about Monsanto, all about everything. And it's well known in international polls, university exit studies, high school exit polls, that Americans are the most geographically, mathematically illiterate people there are. Whether it comes to reading, writing, arithmetic, geopolitical facts, political facts. The average American does not know which end is up. And if mainstream media didn't tell them how to find their behinds, they wouldn't be able to do it. And I don't say that with pleasure. This has been done by design, and boy, have the elite done a great job. And then you notice who the globalists say their number one enemy is. Recent veterans, veterans in order, top enemy, veterans. Returning veterans. Gun owners, conservatives, libertarians, and then evangelical Christians for some reason. And I say that because most of the evangelicals I know are nice people, but man, are they going along with the tyranny. And you notice there's a group in there I kept saying would soon be added, and now finally has been. Local police and sheriffs are being harassed by the feds, being indicted, being sued like Arpaio, not because they're bad. There's certainly some that are, but because that's another independent group that might become a focal point of political resistance, of leadership. The globalists fear leadership. And they fear legitimate constitutional government standing up with the people's backing. If you get a governor and you get much of a legislature with 1 million people in the streets of Texas saying, we want to secede, the feds can't invade. They can't stop that. The feds would know that was coming and would blow up a federal building to blame it on the governor that tried that. And to say supporters of the governor blew up the daycare center. This is military moves we're up against. You've got to understand the moves they're going to play. And listen, I don't want Texas to secede. I'm a Republican in that I'm for a republic, not a Republican little r. I'm for Republican big R, as in George Washington. I believe in the federalist system. It's beautiful. We need a check on the states. There is no check on the feds. They've been captured. It's gone. We're wide open. The entire Pentagon preparation is to take out the states. The states wouldn't even resist politically or physically currently. What are they planning? So horrible, so draconian. I've got full body chills right now. And I know why people get scared and don't look into this, because it's scary. It's real. When I fully focus on this and look at all the facts, I get body chills. The kind of chills I got growing up when, for no reason, you know, some crazy guy would bust into a party or whatever and start attacking people, and I'd get chills. That was just my body releasing hormones and getting connected to all my cells, getting my nerves firing to fight. And when I talk about this, I mean, I start getting in a fighting mode, folks, because at a primitive level, my body knows we're being overrun. My body knows we're being conquered. My body knows dangerous things are happening. My brain analyzes it, and even when I'm not consciously thinking about it, I have a feeling of disquiet. I'm upset. I want to be involved to fight the tyranny. And why is that? Because we're going to lose all of this prosperity, all of this security, all of this freedom right now. I'm going to go to your phone calls. Joe, John, Tom, Corey, Chris, and others. Toll-free number to join us, 800-259-9231. First-time callers in this first round of calls. And we're mainly talking about the preparations for World War III that are in a bunch of newspapers. China has vowed to step up presence in South China Sea in a provocative new military white paper. And it's aimed warnings. And amid warnings that the U.S.-China war is inevitable unless Washington drops its objections to Beijing's activities. Beijing can now claim any sandcastle they build with a bunch of dredges is their territory and that they will enforce it. China never had a claim to that area. China's been talking about invading the Philippines in a white paper 2 years ago. I mean, that is very aggressive. Now they want to replace the Japanese as the aggressors. Huge article on the Telegraph up on Infowars.com. Senior NATO official will probably be at war this summer. If we're lucky, it won't be nuclear. Infowars.com, Paul Joseph Watson. A senior NATO official told former NSA intelligence analyst John Schindler that the world would probably be at war sometime this summer. And Schindler's a very respected NSA whistleblower. We'll probably be at war this summer. If we're lucky, it won't be nuclear, the official told Schindler last week. And Schindler tweeted, said a senior NATO non-U.S. GOFO to me today, we'll probably be at war this summer. If we're lucky, it won't be nuclear. Let that sink in. Although the tweet was retweeted over 400 times, the comment garnered no mainstream media attention whatsoever, which is odd given the fact that Schindler is a former U.S. Navy War College lecturer and is known to have many high-level military contacts. Although not specified the reference, I want to get him on, guys. Call and get him on today, please. Work on it. The reference was almost certainly in relation to growing tensions between the United States and Russia. One analyst of the comment suggested it may have been a deliberate leak from NATO sources to emphasize how serious the situation is. Earlier this month, NATO launched its biggest ever war game exercise. Folks, they've had the head NATO generals on TV going, we can take out the Russians, and former U.S. generals going, we just want a bunch of them in body bags. That'll scare them little Ruskies out of it. We just kill a bunch, they'll turn tail and run. I mean, it's just crazy talk. Earlier this month, NATO launched its biggest ever war game exercise on Russia's doorstep. Moscow responded by conducting provocative war games in Mediterranean Sea in coordination with the Chinese PLA, the first ever drill involving both superpowers. NATO powers are also taking part in one of Europe's largest ever fighter jet drills today, and it just goes on off the coast of Norway. Another headline, 2015 predictions, World War III could be inevitable as Russia leads war into new kind of conflict. This article by the Inquisitor kind of acts like Russia's starting it. China is being provocative. Russia is not being provocative. And I'm not defending Russia. I'm just telling you how I see this unfolding. And remember, George Soros is in there driving the whole thing. Let's go to your phone calls right now. Let's go ahead and talk to John in Texas. John, you're on the air.
Hi, Alex.
Welcome.
You know, the end run of all this has always been a world government or communism. And basically, they got the Soviet system all set up in this country with the NSA spying on everybody's phone calls and the license plate readers, and they got everything set up. And we took free trade, which is part of the communist goals, and used it to build China up from it was stuck in a Bronze Age under Mao and made them into a first-rate superpower. And what I think is going to happen is we're going to go to war. We're going to lose the war. They're going to bring communist occupation forces in here. Everything's set up for them. And all those idiots you see on the street in Austin you were facing off against are going to be the commissars, head of the murder squads, and every other thing. And they're just going to subjugate this country completely. We'll be part of the global communist one world government.
Well, I know this. The old-timers used to tell me this 30 years ago, and I didn't believe it, but now everything they talked about has happened so far, and what the weathermen talked about, and they're activating communist cells all over this country to go absolutely haywire this summer and attack everybody. The police, obviously us, anything that was part of the old government, anything that was part of the old system, anybody that defends the republic. And they're gearing up this summer to go crazy. And I just say thank God for the Second Amendment, because it's not going to go well if they pull this for the first few waves of trash.
But you got to look at our government, Alex. Look at Obama, his communist connections, all the people around him communists.
I know. And they're always telling us communism doesn't exist. There's none. I mean, every time communists do some horrible thing, the media will call me and go, Alex, communist, really? Communist attacked you? Or, you know, those don't exist, Alex. As we go communist, as we go socialist, as we go totalitarian, they keep saying, oh, really? Nothing's happening. Well, undoubtedly, they're preparing the communists to go haywire this summer. They're going to stir stuff up. There are hundreds of gangland shootings every few days. The cops are going to get paranoid, scared, outgunned. They're going to kill innocent people in the crossfire, in the friendly fire. It's going to happen. You got a lot of thug cops as well. They're going to make it worse, and it's going to blow up. You can really, and the communists are wild-eyed now. They've gotten the word that this is their time. I've been dealing with these people for 20-something years, and I'm telling you, the communists have a gleam in their eye. They're making their move, John.
Communist goals, the communist rules for revolution, and the planks of the Communist Manifesto has all been carried out. Just go out there and look at them. You can search them on the web. Everything in there has been carried out on this country. And the fact that the Bush, all those neocons that Bush had around him were all considered Trotskyite communists. I mean, they've been controlled. I mean, they're in control, go all the way up to Soros.
And that's why they've put in all the Republican leaders like Boehner and others. That's a minion of Mr. Globalist Newt Gingrich that will go along with everything.
For the street, for the people you faced in Austin, it goes all the way up into the colleges, into the local government.
Oh, no, we already know the handlers are high-level. The handlers are high-level UT.
Taxes and foundations, they go all the way up. It's a big iceberg. What you've seen was just the tip of the iceberg, Alex. It goes way bigger than that.
It was like a tip of a festering servile pus well. I mean, these people are sick. I appreciate your call. God bless you. It is like the tip of a big rotting corpse. Ugh. You can smell the stench of death on those people too, man. Just over the top. I kill my babies. Oh, I love Satan. I love being dirty. I love it. We're going to red terror you, giggling. Yeah, you're going to find out, red terror. as if those useful idiots will ever be part of any power